Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 4 with this week's episode 7. So, make yourself comfortable, get yourself a drink, get something to eat, because I have several thoughts on this week's episode. All in all, I quite enjoyed this episode. Not much happened. The end of the episode was quite eventful. I will get to that later on in this video as well. I have to get on Monica's mom later because Miss Linda, I believe her name is, thought that she was going to be a snowflake holder this episode, which made me kind of leave this episode with a side eye on her, but we will discuss that at the end of this video, as I already said. So, we start off this episode with some cute little scenes between pretty much everyone. I think, started off with Mary and Meredith meeting up at Mary's home and, discussing what went down in Palm Springs. Mary's like, I got an invite to Angie K's Greek Easter gathering, get together. What about you? Meredith's like, no, I will be at the gala anyways. Or like at the awards, GLAAD Awards, I think. And then Mary's like, well, if you're not gonna go, I'm not gonna go as well. And why did I see that coming? Mary never kind of wants to include herself in things where she does not really like the people, and she was very open and honest about that. So Mary's not going. She even later on calls Miss Angie K, to let her know that her house had a flood a year ago and that they just got done, remodeling it in Vegas and that she needs to go check it out. That whole exchange was a bit awkward because you definitely could tell that Mary was just not in the mood to celebrate the Easter vibes with Miss Angie K. So, Miss Mary also tells Meredith that she today just found out how her son is, like, Rob Jr., I believe is his name, got married behind her back, which was unfortunate to see. Mary's getting super emotional in that scene. She starts to cry. She's like, you're my only son. You're like all I have. Where was I during that moment? She was very funny, but very emotional at the same time. And then she ends and wraps up the scene with some kind words of reinforcement to her son that he does not need to be afraid to tell her anything. And she's also very shady and says, well, I think you go and need to work now that you're married. And my question is, how does he finance having a wife and kind of being at home? Does the wife live at home and Mary never knew? I'm a bit confused on that one, but maybe we'll get some more information on this topic in another episode. So, we then move on to Lisa and Angie K meeting up at a candle wax shop. They had 1,000 gazillion flavors and scents that they can put into a candle. So they're doing that cute little activity. Lisa gets recognized as Jack Barlow's mom. And Lisa's like, wait, did you know Jack's going on a mission? Did you know before me? And the girl's like, yeah, I knew before you, which the shade of it all. Miss Lisa Barlow was in the dark because Jack really did keep to himself with this whole mission ongoing thing. Can somebody please update me on whether he actually went through with this mission thing? I think he did. Obviously, he won't be posting on social media, but I think Lisa is going to reveal at the reunion that Jack currently on mission right now and is understandably deeply missing her son. So, Angie and Lisa are discussing once again Miss Monica Nikki Garcia about the things that she told Angie K about her husband, which I am still kind of holding Whitney accountable for, because you cannot tell me how much smoke was there for Monica, even though Whitney instigated this and kind of egged Monica on to tell this information to Angie K. So I myself am wondering, how are these women oblivious to the fact that Whitney was the instigator of this once again and is leaving the situation, well, up until she maybe won't in a couple of episodes, pretty much unscathed. She basically knew of the rumor that she got from either Meredith or either the Salt Lake City streets, as Monica likes to call them, egged Monica on, and now Monica's pretty much taking all the blame for it. So Lisa's like, well, I think that Meredith and Monica are just as bad. Both of them are just as bad as the other. You know, you can't really trust Monica. She's not your friend. Why are you inviting her to your Greek gathering? But, you know, Angie's being open, and I like that she's being open as someone that is very new to this cast. It's refreshing to see how she is receiving all possibilities of rekindling, probably also because she wants to stay on the show, let's be real, which is the only logical thing for her to do, to hash out, you know, all the tiffs with her castmates. I like the fact that Angie is very much open and not on her, you know, Mary Cosby vibe of, I'm never talking to you, I am disengaging, I'm not interested, which is unintentionally funny for Mary, but could be potentially annoying if others follow suit. So, yeah. We then move on to Whitney and what's her husband's name? Whitney and Justin. I always forget this man's name. They're going out on a date, lunch type of thing. They're talking about how this is their first date in a year and how that's sad and it's, you know, unfortunate. And Whitney's kind of recalling how a couple of days ago she was pretty much frying up some bacon, cleaning up the piss from her dog off of the couch, intervening in a fight between her two kids and prepping them for school, while Mr. Justin was on his phone on Instagram scrolling away whilst all the mess was going down. She feels that he is not very much engaged in the situation right now that he's gone back to work. She thinks that he's lacking. She makes notice of this. And the way my jaw dropped when he said that, well, it's the same thing for him to always initiate sex. And I was like, wait, are we watching this scene pan out as it's panning out? Are we being for real right now? Are you seriously in the middle of her? And as much as Whitney gets on my last nerve and is sometimes a bit annoying, you can feel in this scene it's very emotional for her. She even starts crying. She feels he's not involved. How can you bring up sex? How can you, the initiation of sex, put that on the same level as of, you know, the participation in the day-to-day life of a father with kids. That's insane to me. And then there was, this detail mentioned on how he took off his wedding ring. Let me know in the comments down below if you got it. I don't know if I just didn't pay attention, but I never got why he took the ring off. Was it because of an argument? She said that she's sorry for snapping at him for basically nothing. But if you guys argue and he goes to take off his ring at his new job where he meets new people, Whitney, I am saying this now not to put out any bad energy, towards your marriage, but save up a few more coins, get yourself an extra account, because this is the start of the dynamic fumbling and tumbling and breaking apart. And just in case you guys go for a divorce because you cannot see eye to eye, have yourself not dependent on him now that he's gone back to work. But that was sad for Whitney, even though she's not my absolute favorite. She's sweet, but she gets on my last nerve. She's annoying sometimes, but I really felt for her in the scene. So, basically that was pretty much 80% of the episode. We then go to Miss Angie K. She's prepping her Easter dinner. And when I tell you, I said it once, I'll say it again. Miss Angie K is moneyed down, okay? House is built. House is luxurious. Face always snatched. Hair always done. She's looking impeccable. The decoration for that whole Greek, Eastern Orthodox Greek get-together was stunning. Simple, light, and elegant. The spread looked so good, looked so juicy. I wanted to bite right into my screen. And the lamb, the pastries, I loved their Greek vibes. And I love also the way how I myself am a first-generation immigrant of parents that came from a country. My parents came from Sicily to Germany, not knowing a drop of German, sacrificed themselves for, their kids. And I love the way that episode made me kind of feel like home, because we as Sicilians have pretty much 50% of our roots are of Greek origin. And to know that Angie K holds that so dear to her heart was a nice touch. I mean, she started out pretty blandly, but Angie K is growing so much more on me each and every single episode. And yes, she's messy. Yes, she could maybe be a little bit performative, but let's give this woman some grace. She probably, had to pull it all out to secure that contract. And we definitely see that she pulled through, because Miss Angie K is being in everybody's scenes, everybody's mouths. So I'm going to give flowers where flowers are due. But anyways, I love the Greek vibe. I was shocked to see that she speaks Greek fluently like that. I have heard her speak a few words here and there, but you can definitely tell her roots are very much present in her life. Because, if you compare that to New Jersey, the way all of these alleged full Italians speak Italian, it's a tragedy. A real Greek tragedy. I mean, Teresa Giudice, Joe Giudice, they could never really talk like that in Italian, which is not, it's not bad, but still the way they hold on to that Italian heritage, and then you are not even capable of, I don't know, surviving back in your homeland if you were there for, I don't know, like a month, just by speaking the language. That is just wild to me, but I'm being judgy as fuck. So let's get back to the episode. They are inviting their priest, Father George. Everybody's coming, to the event. Everybody's looking great. Everybody's in their attire. They're having this luncheon, the spread. Everybody's, gushing about the food, gushing about Angie's house. And they are going to actually do this Greek dance, which is a Greek tradition, where they throw money at the dancers. Angie K went to the bank herself and took out a lot of $1 bills. And the way Angie K just screams rich is insane. So, we have at this party Angie K going up to Monica and kind of wanting to talk about what went down, about this whole thing with... Oh, the lights went on my property. They're talking about what went down with this spreading of rumors at the après-ski from Lisa an episode and a half ago. So Angie K is getting on Monica, and Monica is pretty much trying to defend herself, saying that Whitney egged her on. Angie kind of misses that detail, which made me kind of confused, just because, you're friends with Whitney doesn't mean that she is potentially the stir in this situation, or at least holding the stick with the other girls to stir this up. So, at least, Angie was hurt. Monica's argument was that she told that to her face, which I think is better. It's definitely good to tell someone that to their face if those rumors are swirling around. But where I have to get on Monica, to be fair and not to be as biased as I probably always am, you cannot source the Salt Lake City streets as your source for this rumor. Please come up with at least one or two names that had spread this. So maybe, Angie could look over her shoulder once or twice more to really see who's the snake. But then again, if you heard that from Whitney and, I don't know, the other women, and they have not given names, I understand that there is, no clear source. But where Monica went a bit off the rails is her delivery. I did understand her arguments, and they did truly make sense to me. But Miss Girl needs to definitely try having a better delivery, because, Angie's like, well, I would never, spread rumors like that to you. And then Monica's like, well, go at it. No, she would never spread rumors about her, even though she has heard a lot about Monica. And then Monica's like, well, go at it, girl. Have a feast. Bon appetit. What do you mean? Affair? Check. Foreclosure? Check. This? Check. One thing about Monica, though, she is going to lay it all out on the table, and that just holds all the power in really the fist of her hand, because she is not afraid to air out her business, to be open and honest with us. We've seen that in the past before, so kudos to that. Kudos to her. And now this is where I personally got aggravated, because these two were in a very passionate exchange. Yes, Monica did do a little bit too much. I have to say that. But then, Monica's mother lightly and slightly chimes into the conversation. She's like, you girls are please stop, you're a beautiful woman. And she was like, we know. I was like, okay. You are beautiful women. Please stop, you're very passionate. You're Greek and Portuguese. You're both almost of, the same blood or whatever she said. Do not get in this. And she was kind of trying to mend this slightly. Then she walked away. Monica was very agitated to this. And then Angie's like trying to wrap it up. And she's like, well, I'm just trying to have this conversation. And Monica's like, well, I'm sure you're trying to have this conversation to wrap it up so you can throw it at me once again when we're, at a get-together another time. And this is where all went left. So Monica and Angie go at it. Then Angie removes herself from the situation. Now Monica and Monica's mother are getting into it. Monica's mother is not anymore slightly and lightly chiming in. She's telling her daughter to go take a breath in the bathroom with her. She's trying to manipulate the situation. So it gave very much, I have to look out for my 10-year-old child or my prepubescent, adolescent kid that is 13 or 14 years old and is talking crap right now. I can see how Monica's mom wanted to diffuse, but she definitely lost me when she was trying to embarrass Monica in front of everybody. And everybody was talking about, well, this is a gathering with kids. That conversation was so not loud in comparison to the whole room and the kids being in a totally other section of the house, first of all. And now Angie and Monica's mom are both saying, well, we have kids here, your kids are here. And then Monica loses it. She's like, well, you're not gonna hold my kids to this, and they're not going to be dragged into this. She loses it. The mother is talking now very aggressively in Portuguese. She's like, well, come, stop it. Come to the bathroom. And Monica's like, no, she's not letting her mom, kind of grab her by her pride to diffuse it all. This gets Monica on and on even more. Monica goes to sit down in another corner. She removes herself completely. Her mom is, still kind of talking and mingling. And she's, flirting with Angie K's dad and talking to the boys about sports. And she is very entertaining, but it was very... Are you trying to steal your daughter's snowflake? Because this relationship is tricky. And I myself have had experience with tricky situations by connection. I have seen complex mother-daughter relationships that are the copy-paste situation of Monica and her mom. And Monica was sitting all by herself. And Monica's mom went up to her and she's like, well, I worry about you. I do want to go dance, but of course you're my daughter, you're my concern. And Monica's like, well, I don't believe it. Monica starts to open up. She says her side of, her feelings. And then, excuse my language, this bitch is laughing in Monica's face while Monica's talking to her about how she's feeling, belittled and hurt by her mom. And Monica's like, well, do you think this is funny? And then the mother is like, well, I think it is funny. Just completely, that conversation should have never went down like that. That was just so toxic. Let's not put all the blame on Monica's mom. Let's give her about 80% of the blame. Let's put, 10% on let's put 5% on Angie, and let's put 15% on Monica, because Angie could have very well said, Mother Linda, this is all going well, you can definitely remove yourself from this situation, I am just talking to Monica, woman to woman, thank you so much for your concern, your services are not needed, goodbye. And Monica could have definitely had a little less of an attitude in this conversation, but I do understand with her taking the blame, even though Whitney was the ishster at the beginning, with her being belittled by her mom in front of everybody, and everybody taking Monica's mom's side. In her confessional, she talked about how she feels that she was, in that moment, the little Monica, the Monica that, kind of was misunderstood always, and the one that wishes that she had a different mom. She starts crying, and it definitely felt for her. I can definitely understand her sentiment, and it really broke my heart, because you can definitely see how Monica's mother wanted to have some attention, let's call a spade, and got it, and some sympathy points by everybody in the room, and therefore Monica is taking her kids. She is removing herself from the situation once again. She's like, get your own effing ride. I'm dead serious. You're not on my side. You are not defending me. So get your own ride. She gets her kids. They go home. Monica's mom stays there. And then we have the preview for the, last reminder of this season. The mid-season trailer. We are celebrating Monica's birthday. Monica's crying. Lisa's going after her, which was a little bit shocking to me, because I thought that Lisa didn't like her. She's talking about, how could she do this to you? I'm wondering if this is something with her mom again. We have everybody getting into a fight. Bad weather. Whitney and Heather is definitely going to go at it once again. Meredith is activated. Mary is kind of nowhere to be seen in that trailer, if I look correctly, but the preview looked very good for the last bit of the season. I'm definitely excited to see how everything is going to go out with season 4. So far, I am enjoying it very much. The numbers of season 4 in Peacock streaming have come in, and they are about 13 or 20% up than last season. We're seeing an increase. We are definitely signed in for season 5 of Salt Lake City. I'm worry-free in the department of this franchise getting canceled, because they're definitely not going to be. So that was episode 7. It was a lot at the end, not that eventful in the beginning, but I still enjoyed this episode very much. Let me guys know what you thought about this episode. I will definitely be looking forward to reading some of your comments maybe. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below so you do not miss out on any future content that I create and publish. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.